Most people would call it insane, but in the last 5 years, I've invested over $300,000 on mentorships, masterminds, and sales trainings. And here's what will piss some people off. No university degree, free course, or YouTube video has ever given me the ROI that one mentor or one right room did. So in this video, I'm breaking down 5 of the most valuable lessons I've learned from my mentors that have helped me close millions in sales, lead 7- and 8-figure sales teams, and help my clients generate over $250 million in revenue. If you don't know me, my name is Joe Yi, TEDx speaker, high-ticket closer, and sales strategist for fast-growing companies that need help scaling their sales teams. This video alone could save you 300 grand, especially the last tip which I'll share, which will make it all just click and make sense. I'm pulling back the curtain today, so if you want to learn what actually moves the needle in sales and business, let's go. And yeah, drop that subscribe while you're here. Lesson number 1, the best investment you can make, especially when you're younger of age, is in yourself. Alex Hormozi calls this the S&P and me. 1000% agree with it, because the one thing that no one can ever take away from you, no government, no political faction, no country, is your skill sets and your knowledge, right? You could wipe me out today, I could lose my business, lose everything in life, lose all my connections, but with my knowledge, with my skill sets, I can always make it all back. And that's extremely powerful. So the biggest thing about investing in yourself is having that confidence to approach the world and not worry about even if you lose anything. Can you imagine how much power you would have if you could walk around like that, right? Excuse my language, but imagine how big the size of your gonads would be if you could walk around and know, hey, even if I lose it all, I can make it all back because I've already had the skills and the knowledge to do it again and again and again. And that's the first lesson, is that investing in yourself is the best thing you could possibly ever do. Lesson number 2, this is the right type of networking. What I mean by that? There's a lot of free networking events where you can go to and meet random people. And there's nothing wrong with that when you're first getting started, but after a while, it's a lot of fluff and a lot of opportunities and shiny objects that just don't add value to your life, right? You could go to this free conference, a free event, and someone's gonna talk to you about this industry or that opportunity or this thing and that thing, and it's easy to get peeled away. But when you go to a mastermind that is paid, for example, 50K, 100K a year, you're meeting people of the same caliber who are in that room on purpose because they've invested or paid that much money to be there. So the quality of your conversations go much higher. And I can't tell you enough, every mastermind I've invested 50K or more, I easily made that money back within a few months just because I do one deal. And that one deal pays me that 20K a month for 1 or 2 years, right? It just pays for itself. So you meet the higher caliber of people, and that's also a lesson there where when you invest in yourself, you meet the right network. The third lesson that I gained was that marketing and branding is actually more important than you think. And that's coming from a top closer, a top sales manager or trainer in this high-ticket space, right? I should be for sales, yet I'm telling you that marketing and branding is more important. And I firmly believe that, because when I came into this space where I wanted to be myself and run my own business, I struggled really hard in the beginning because I didn't know marketing and branding. Yes, I knew sales, but sales can only get you so far. I think of it like sales is selling one-to-one, but marketing is selling with a loudspeaker, right? It's an amplifier. I can sell one-to-many. And if you don't know marketing, you don't know branding, then guess what? You're very limited just by your sales skills alone. And if you look at a funnel, the top is always filled with marketing, and then the bottom conversions come from sales. So if you only have sales, but you don't have marketing, you're pretty limited. And so the biggest lesson that I want to give to you is don't sleep on your marketing and branding skills. My biggest regret is that I'm now putting out content 7 years after I've been in this industry, consistently. Imagine if I started putting out content 7 years ago, where would I be today? Where would my YouTube channel be today? I can't even imagine that because it's too painful to think of, but that's what happens when you don't market, you don't brand. And another point is that I've done pretty well for myself in 7 years without the marketing and branding, but how much more can I grow now that I'm putting focus on this? So never sleep on marketing and branding. That's lesson number 3. Lesson number 4, the biggest value you get from masterminds is less of the tactics they teach you, is less of the knowledge there too. That's great, but I think the biggest thing is the way they teach you how to think. For example, I would have never learned that at a young age, I should be taking way more risks because I have nothing to lose. But when I go to a mastermind and I see everybody there who's older than me say like, hey, if I was younger, I would have done ABC, and they have all these regrets about not doing more, it hits very differently, right? Than just me thinking about it. It's like, wow, these guys are already so far ahead of me, yet they're older. but their number one regret is still the fact that they didn't take more risks and they didn't push more when they were younger. And so that is massive for me because it's a very different perspective. And I'm like, okay, I'm still relatively young, right? I'm 29. I also feel like I'm not that young. I'm getting older. And I feel like, oh my gosh, like I have a few more years I can really grind and push this out before I get, old, right? And I think it's a great reminder that you're not as young as you think you are. And it's still not too late because you can still push and you can still take risks. And even if you lose it all, so what? It goes back to point number one. You still have the skills, you still have the knowledge to build it all back up again. And that is extremely valuable for me. I would not have gained that had I not been in those rooms. So take more risks, right? Don't be afraid because you can build it back up when you have the skills. And the fifth and final lesson is this. Especially if you're a business owner or you're in high ticket sales, how could you possibly be a good closer, a good business owner if you've never invested in yourself? Think about it for a second. An overweight person telling another overweight person, hey, I can train you on fitness. Go work out more, go to the gym, and I don't even go to the gym. That wouldn't make any sense, right? It's like getting marriage advice from a divorced person who's been divorced 5 times, right? So it's like, if you want to be good in business, you're good in high ticket sales, but you don't invest in yourself. You don't even know what the feeling is like, the fear, crossing that gap, having those second thoughts like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm wiring 50K to this guy. If you're not in those shoes, how can you ever put yourself in a prospect's shoes? It wouldn't make any sense at all. So the last lesson for me is do the things you want your prospects to do, because that ultimately makes you a better business owner, a better sales professional. And it's like leading from the front essentially. And so these are the top 5 things I learned from my masterminds and my mentorships. Obviously there's a lot of tactical stuff. I could put it out there, but it's probably out there in YouTube content anyways for free. I wanted to give you stuff that's more conceptual, high level, that you can understand like, wow, investing in mentorship, investing in these networks is super important. I would not be here today without these 5 things. Okay, so I want to give that to you complete for free. So those are the 5 lessons that change everything for me. And hey, I just saved you 300 grand, so you're welcome. Let me know in the comments which one resonated the most, and I'll see you in the next YouTube video.